Damn it, Tony, you magnificent bastard, you did it again. Ladies and gentlemen, internets, my name is Peridiam. Winners at War is a mood and a half. And let's bring out the battle map. We are in the final 9 of Survivor Winners at War, and the game is crazy coming off the heels of a final 10 vote where Tyson was taken out in a bizarre split vote. Idle play, could have used more information with that one, but we definitely got enough this time. Let's put the player tokens on the board. First up, Jeremy is sitting in the dark waiting for the aftermath. He explains his magic trick, why he chose to play his advantage and leave the previous tribal council. Everyone comes back in and Jeremy is wide-eyed. Tyson is gone. What the hell happened? Nobody wants to tell him. Shell shock. Ben reveals the majority 5. It was himself, Sophie, Sarah, Tony, and Nick. That's the 5 with Jeremy, Kim, Denise, and Michelle on the bottom. And Ben wants to go forward with this 5. Meanwhile, Jeremy's frustrated. He lost his biggest shield.
Do you think your game is better with Tyson here or without him? No matter if he's causing drama or not. You're on the chopping block now. Because guess who's the biggest, baddest dude here?
You?
Really?
Yeah? You won immunities? You just played advantages?
Don't think.
Jeremy, don't
think.
listen, I'm sorry. I don't have to listen right now,
that
dude.
I'm the guy that everyone's gonna be looking at as a big and bad guy.
Okay.
Don't look at it.
All right.
Like
Well, in my eyes, I think you're a lot bigger threat than I am.
all right, it's fine.
Kim and Michelle recoup and hash out what they just went through. Michelle genuinely trusts nobody. There's too much chaos. She can't effectively do anything when everyone is lying to her and flipping left and right. Kim is on the same page alongside Jeremy and Denise. They're on the bottom and they need a plan. Then morning arrives and the gloves come off. Blood is in the water and it's time for the sharks to swim. Remember how in the premiere episode Tony talked about putting himself on a self-mandated probation from idol hunting? Well, he's done his time and now Kaguya Tony running through the jungle searching high and low is back. Tony goes hunting for the new idol, and of course, Nick sidles up to him and is like, "Hey, what you doing?" Tony sends Nick to hunt for the idol by the water well, a place that Tony has already looked. Smart idea, and now Tony is back by himself in the jungle. And long story short, yada yada yada, say hello to his little friend. Tony indeed finds the idol. Meanwhile, on the other side of the camp, Sarah runs a fashion show. Ben is loving it. Kim, Michelle, and Sarah are killing it. Michelle's jacket flip rivals that of Coach. And FYI, I love this scene. I love these camp scenes. It's kind of random, but it's so well crafted. So Tony and Jeremy meet up and Tony decides to go undercover, getting good with the outsiders. They're his targets, but you know the old saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. He buddies up to Jeremy and Michelle, and then Kim and Denise too. Kim questions him and he kind of lies through his teeth, but hey, it's Survivorland. And this is where things get interesting from a positioning standpoint. Jeremy and Michelle break off and Jeremy tells her that he feels good about Tony. He believes that Tony wants to be their 5th. Michelle also then feels good about that. But then you get Kim and Denise on the other side of this minority alliance who talk, and Kim doesn't feel good about Tony. She thinks Tony is playing double agent, which he is. And she thinks that Tony probably wants to get herself or Jeremy out. And so suddenly there is a divide in the minority with Denise and Kim on one side and Jeremy and Michelle on the other. Tony unintentionally creates this divide, or at least that's what we see, which will seemingly pay off later in the episode. Let's head to the edge of Extinction for half a second and see what sorry state they're all in. Adam is meandering, Rob and Amber are pecking each other on the face, and Natalie and Parvati are up to no good. That is to say, they have found a note to an advantage somewhere on the edge, which leads to Parvati taking everyone to watch the sunset while Natalie finds this advantage called Extortion. What in the world? This advantage is played against a player in the game to get their fire tokens. This player must meet the demands of Nat and Parvati, or else they can't compete for immunity and lose their vote at the next tribal. That is serious business. Parv laughs. She loves this. And you know what? Every time Parv gets the chance to make a villainous cackle, I take a swig of my health potion because that stuff gives me life. So, who do Natalie and Parvati extort?
This morning I looked in my bag and I seen something like this in my bag, and I know I didn't put it in there, so I gotta see what it is. I'm hoping it's an advantage from the edge, so I'm gonna read it right now. I ran far away from camp so nobody knows I'm gone, and here it is right now. Oh my God. Extortion. first word I read is extortion. This is great. That's an extremely powerful advantage, and I can't wait to use it. And then I'm reading more, and I'm reading more, and then it says, this advantage is being played against you.
I just want to call to attention and appreciate how Tony enters this scene. It's like a cartoon character running into the frame. Anyway, Tony approaches Michelle, good for Michelle by the way, because he's gotten close to her since the vote as seen, and he knows she likely has a lot of tokens given to her as a lot of her friends were getting taken out in previous votes. And that's one thing about the fire tokens that I find interesting. They do have this bit of an underdog effect where it boosts the underdog, gives them a better chance of survival, and it also plays into the social game. Except, the big problem here is Michelle doesn't have any fire tokens to give, and she makes up a pretty decent lie about her advantage that she got previously about the flipping a coin to get immunity. And Tony buys it, doesn't cost him a token for that, but Michelle says she will get Jeremy on board. So Jeremy gives Tony 1 fire token of the 2 that he has. Fair enough, a small act of kindness. Tony then goes to his other allies and gets another token from Nick, and then he goes to Ben on the other side and gets 1 more from him. And if this isn't a montage of a social game flashing before our eyes, bing, I don't know what is. So Tony pays off that hefty price, gets to compete in the challenge, and go figure, Tony goes on to win immunity. We're not even halfway through, and just gotta say, what an episode for Tony already. Let's head back to camp and get down to business. Kim is in a predicament, and she knows it. She doesn't trust Tony's intentions, which is a good read. She doesn't believe that he is this 5th vote, quote unquote, for their side, and he isn't. But she also realizes Jeremy and Michelle don't give her numbers. They're still in the minority if she goes with them. She needs to work with other players to be in that majority. So Kim blends in with the rest. Sarah says they should vote out Jeremy, but if he pulls something, they should have a few votes on Michelle too. Kim is down for this. Sarah and Kim will put 2 votes on Michelle, the other 5 will all vote for Jeremy, and a 5-2 to 2 vote. It doesn't really matter what Jeremy and Michelle do if Jeremy plays an idol or not. Of course, this split vote does leave the door open for Kim and Denise to flip and shake things up, but it would also require an idol play from them too, which neither of them have at the moment. So all in all, it's not a bad vote split from Sarah, but as we later see, it's also not foolproof. Jeremy meets with Kim and Denise by the water well to discuss the vote. Kim says they should vote out Ben. Make it a 5-4 vote. Tony is their 5th vote. Ben goes. Denise tells us, however, she's not on board. Both herself and Kim don't believe they have Tony, and yeah, they don't, and it's probably time to blindside Jeremy. However, Jeremy feels confident in this Ben plan and skips away happily. Bye bye Ben. And with the sun going down and peace in the camp, a stark contrast to previous episodes with just utter chaos, perhaps that same sun is figuratively finally setting on Jeremy after all. Or perhaps it's the perfect opportunity for Tony to seize the day. The man who's been in the middle all episode sees a crack, not too dissimilar to his Cagayan days actually, and he takes action. You see, Tony's number 1 has been Sarah all season, but Sophie is really close to Sarah too. The 2 ladies shared a lot of time together at the swap. Tony would prefer Sarah be closer to him, given he doesn't have a strong relationship with Sophie. And with the current split vote occurring, he realizes he just needs to convince one person to join him, kind of like his woo, to flip the entire game to his advantage. See, Tony knows Jeremy is getting voted out here, especially given that he, Tony, found the new idol. There are no idols that Jeremy can play. Jeremy is toast. But Tony would prefer that Sophie go over Jeremy. Jeremy trusts Tony quite a lot. That's better for Tony in the end. Why not save Jeremy and win him over for the moment, gather a pawn for his side of the board, instead of coasting with the big majority of numbers, many of which probably won't heed his call in his time of need later in the game. So Tony approaches Nick, pitches the plan, and Nick is in. Why is Nick in? Well, I'm guessing it's because why not blow the game up? It's a big move for Nick too. It's something that he can tout for sure at the end to seize the moment, especially given Nick has been on the bottom going into the merge. Nick may have found a foothold with this quote-unquote 5, but it's probably very tenuous as we've seen. Nick is at the bottom of this 5 anyway. I imagine Nick's best plan is to crack the game open so nobody gets too comfortable, which is kind of what this plan would do. So Tony approaches Jeremy and tells him what's up. Denise and Kim have turned on him. Everybody is blindsiding Jeremy tonight but Michelle. Jeremy is shocked. He is speechless. And in an amusing twist of fate, Tony is now begging Jeremy to save himself.
Kim and Denise are not with you.
Why not?
Kim, I'm telling you right now as a fact, Kim and Sarah are voting for Michelle. Everybody else, including me and Nick, was supposed to vote for you, okay? So now I'm taking Nick away from them numbers, I'm taking myself away from them numbers, and I'm giving them to you. Me, you, Nick, Michelle. That's 4 of us are voting for Sophie. Sophie goes home. It's that simple. I just talked to Nick. He's 100%. I gave my allegiance.
Why?
Because they were going to blindside you, kid.
Who's that?
Everybody. Everybody. Can you please trust me and believe me? I know you want me to give you a lengthy answer right now, kid, and I'm telling you the specifics of it, but I can't sit here too long because they're going to know I'm trying to blow them up.
You already talked to Michelle?
No, I didn't talk to her. You have to tell her.
Oh, my God.
I don't want to be seen. Just tell her last minute, say, put down Sophie. Trust me.
Let's get to the vote. As we saw, it did become a 4-3-2 vote, with Sophie leaving with an idol in her pocket, or a crotch apparently. Tony's plan worked. Jeremy lived to see another day. 4 votes on Sophie, 3 votes on Jeremy, and 2 votes on Michelle. A beautiful plurality 4-3-2, the 8th to ever happen in US Survivor history. In fact, I went back and did the math for every 9-vote result in all of the English-speaking Survivor history across Survivor Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, and US to see how often does a plan like Tony's actually happen. As it turns out, through 103 9-vote tribals, only 9 times has a 4-3-2 result popped up, and only 4 times has it been in a similar circumstance to what we just saw. The other 3 being Wes in San Juan del Sur, Steven in Cambodia, and Debbie in Koh Rong. So Sophie leaving with this result, with this plan, is quite rare when all things are considered. And now I'm left wondering after all of this, was this the right move for Tony in the end? He's clearly left half the tribe on the outs now, particularly his #1 ally in Sarah, who doesn't seem happy based on the preview for the next episode. I can't imagine Kim or Denise are too happy with him either. He double-crossed them twice now, working with neither of them under 2 different plans. Tony for sure should have Jeremy and likely Michelle on his side, and maybe Nick too, why not? But does Sarah join him? Does Ben? Who has more sway going forward? Then again, Tony has an idol and is turning into some kind of challenge beast, the likes of which we've never seen before, so who knows? I actually most fear right now for Kim and Denise. They really have little wiggle room and will need to probably pull over, like, I don't know, Nick to get a 5th vote, assuming the lines even do remain 4v4. That said, we could be looking at 4 pairs of duos: Tony and Nick, Jeremy and Michelle, Kim and Denise, and Sarah and Ben? I don't know, maybe? This game appears to be cracked wide open, and all it took was a single move, and I love it. Truly all-star material on display. It's not something you're gonna see every day, so enjoy. Put a frame around it, hang it on the wall. And so that's gonna be the latest from Survivor Winners at War. I figured, you know what, it's gonna be best to make this video given season 41 isn't exactly on the horizon just yet, and we've got plenty of time for other videos in the future. Regardless, my name is still Peridiam saying thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the latest battle map breakdown. Don't forget to pay back your friends for their fire token donations on your way out. And I will see you in the next one once I tell you that, damn it, Sophie G. Clark is not and never has been a bottom tier winner.
This was Tony's idiotic move, but I told myself, Sarah, just keep it cool and don't be pissed.
You just sunk my game.
No.
I'm done.
No.
Those guys don't want to work with me. I wrote Michelle's name
I
down.
know that.
My game is sunk.
This has been a bit of an eye-opening tribal, hasn't it? No?
No.
Really?
Everybody's eyes say, bing!